You're watching Transformers of Eternia. Now today I want to take a look at these images that recently leaked out of the Transformers Studio Series 86 Leader Class Megatron. But before I do that, if you enjoyed this video, why not hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this. Okay, so we got some good images here of the Studio Series 86 Megatron Leader Class figure. And I just wanted to kind of go over some of these. I don't want to talk forever, but there's a lot of images I wanted to kind of look through because it kind of dropped late at night, and we got to, at least for my account anyway, I'm seeing these later. But anyway, this looks like a G1 Megatron in the robot form more than anything. The tank mode, I have a lot of questions about. I don't know, it seems like Earthrise all over again a little bit, but I kind of knew that we were going to get a tank, so it's not really a big surprise. Okay, to start off with, let's just compare him to the Generation 1 cartoon version of Megatron that we're supposed to be comparing him to, because the movie is obviously the cartoon Generation 1 cartoon version of Megatron. So looking at this, it looks right, and even has that little red dot on the arm cannon. You can't really see it very well in this picture, but yeah, you could see there's a lot of great, they painstakingly tried to make this authentic G1 as much as possible, and they did a great job on the robot form. And I mean, even the hands are even posable. The fingers can kind of go out. I think it's like 3 fingers or whatever, and then the pointing finger, and then the thumb. But yeah, it looks really great. And just because I know we're doing the Transformers Devastation game figures too, I figured I would do a comparison, this version of Megatron to that. And this is compared to the Devastation video game Megatron. So it does look similar. Obviously, they're trying to go with a G1 look there too, but obviously it's not the same. So that's what you kind of can compare there too, I guess. Now, I do wish that we would have gotten more of a tank that looks similar to the Transformers Devastation one over there, instead of the one we're getting now. I mean, the one we're getting now it just needs to look more like that tank over there, I think, in order for it to look more interesting, I guess, and more accurate to what a tank looks like, I guess. But instead, we're getting this for the tank mode, and I mean, I don't know, like it or not, this is what we're getting. So we just got to get used to it. It does look more like the Earthrise version than anything, I think. So I don't know. But anyway, so because I know a lot of you are into the G1 gun mode, which I am too, you would think in a nation that is allowed to carry arms, we would be allowed to have a toy gun sold to adults, because kids are not going to care about this anyway. But you'd think that we would be able to get this, but I know we're not going to be able to get this. So if you want the gun version of Megatron, I would definitely say to get the New Age number S01 Romulus, which is G1 Megatron. I have this. It's a little bit shorter than the Commander class Optimus Prime, obviously, but this is a very, very, very good figure, and it transforms very interestingly and everything. And I covered this actual figure on a video on my YouTube channel already, so I did a review of this thing already. And I would definitely say to check that out if you're interested in the gun mode of a G1 looking Megatron. So let's compare him to Romulus, the New Age version one. Obviously, there's no Decepticon sign on his chest there in that image, because obviously it's a third party. But yeah, Romulus is a very G1 figure, a little bit more gunmetal type of style stuff on the legs instead of like on the Studio Series one over there. But I mean, they're very they're very close to one another. I mean, the Studio Series one has a little bit whiter face. The other one has a little bit kind of a bluish, which is kind of weird. It's kind of a bluish, greenish kind of white, I guess. But anyway, but that one has a lot of stuff going on, because it literally has to fold out in every little section of that thing, like folds out, flips out, turns, twists in these small little places and every little thing just to make the gun. So this newer version of Megatron on the Studio Series one, I think that has more plates that kind of like fold out and all the kind of flipsy stuff like that too, but it's a little bit different because it's more of a square box because of a tank. But anyway, that's just kind of my thoughts on this, comparing the two. But with the tank mode here, you can kind of see that obviously it's got the gun barrel as the tank, turret or whatever they call that. Anyway, as the barrel for the tank, and it's just kind of weird that the scope and the gun barrel are all that's remaining of the gun on Megatron, and the rest of it is just whatever make up a tank. So that's it kind of sucks that that's the case, because this thing they could actually make a really good looking tank out of this thing if they would have just done a little bit more for the vehicle form. I understand they had to do a lot of work to get the robot form to look G1. And I understand they're not going to actually do a gun like he did in the cartoon, but this thing could be a lot better as a tank, I think. I don't have a real problem with Megatron being a silver tank or a gray tank. I don't have a problem with that. It's always the fact that they make the tank not as Earth reality. It's not realistic like looking. It's kind of misproportions and stuff. But this image here is kind of showing off the back of it, and you can see the tank treads and the legs, which is very cool, actually. I think that looks good. It does fit like the hand grips for the gun, so that is kind of cool. And the back is so clean, I can't even believe how clean this thing looks. It looks so good in the back. So I'm really happy that they were able to pull this off. The robot form on this, I have absolutely no problems with. I think this robot form, this is the Megatron for this line. I mean, this is the perfect version. I mean, I don't want to have to buy another Megatron again now, okay? So please, Hasbro, please don't outdo yourself in another year with a better one of this. I don't know. I don't think they will, but I'm just saying it's like we're getting Megatrons. Now, you keep in mind, my money's on the Seekers are going to come up next, and they're going to do the Seekers even better. But anyway, here's a tank, and you can get all the pieces and all the stuff. You can see how the turret turns weird. That's not how a tank turret turns, but anyway. And you can see underneath there, it's got like the wheels and all that stuff. And you can see it feels like the Earthrise underneath the tank again. If you could see that stuff, it looks like Earthrise again, which I don't know. I don't like the Earthrise tank at all. But I mean, I think the Siege tank was better than the Earthrise one, honestly. But I don't really like that mold anymore. I'm so tired of it. But anyway, this thing it just looks like it's going to look. We can't really do anything about it now. It's already in the works. So, But yeah, this is Megatron doing his normal Earthrise style tank, I guess. And I don't know. At least it doesn't really do a lot of parts forming, but of course the cannon and the gun barrel thing that goes on his back, those are obviously going to come off and go on. But other than that, it seems like they don't have the stupid sword like the Earthrise one did. And this is kind of how the parts all kind of flip out and kind of flip around and do all the transforming and stuff. I mean, there's one thing that this thing does very well. It does transform. This is clearly a real transformer. It does a lot of transforming. But I mean, like I said, the turret on the top of the tank that holds the cannon, you can see that just comes apart, and just like the Earthrise one, the gun components come out so they can go on his arm and on his back. But yeah, you can see all the details on how this thing flips and folds out, and it's got a lot going on. I'll give it that. So we get this stuff with the actual figure, which isn't a lot, but I think this thing does a lot of transforming, and it's basically got to compare to a Commander class Optimus Prime. So it has to do a lot here. And yeah, it comes with the G1 version style of the gun of Megatron that he used to transform into. And it comes with the laser sword, basically, that he basically fights Prime with anyway in the movie, which this is all you really need, I guess, for this. I know people probably want the mace and all the weapons that he had in the G1 episode or whatever, but I'm just saying that this is pretty good because you're you're getting an arm cannon, which they don't have in the Spitzer, which is kind of weird, and you're getting the back little cannon that's just there to make him look like he turns into a G1 kind of gun. But yeah, so you're getting all that stuff, and then you're getting these two little things. I don't know. It seems about right for a leader class figure that's not a commander, because he's competing with the commander class Optimus Prime. Now here you can see that he could take the pistol barrel and kind of put it on his other arm, which he has the little holes in his arms that he can put different things on. And I do like the face. I think the face looks it's monotone looking, just kind of just plain face. But it's a very good version of G1 Megatron's face, which is that says a lot. I mean, and also he doesn't have a hole in the side of his arm where his fist kind of just goes into, much like the Galvatron did, and some of these other figures have that. So that's a good thing, because now we're not gonna have to get add-on parts just to cover that slot where the hole is in the arm, in the forearm where the hand usually hides out. But yeah, this thing looks great. The chest looks it looks right. Everything looks accurate. I mean, even his crotch area looks good, where his legs can flip whatever and go back. So anyway, these are the vehicle form comparisons, and you can kind of see he's not obviously another version on the same buck as the Fallen or Megatronus, and he's a little bit smaller, clearly. And of course, he stacks up pretty good next to Optimus Prime in truck mode, so that's all good. Everything looks about right. I mean, I think the Fallen actually has a more lengthwise better looking version of the tank, but it is all black and everything. But I mean, the Fallen kind of has a more decent size shape for the tank mode, but Megatron's kind of that's the problem. It's not spread out. It's kind of a small little pudgy kind of tank. So that's what's driving me nuts here. So I don't know. That's just the thing that's kind of getting on my nerves about the tank mode, which I kind of had a feeling the tank mode would always be a problem. But here he is next to Commander Class Optimus Prime, and he's almost bigger than him. I mean, that's pretty good. But he's about right. They did a good job, and I'm sure they have the same kind of hand, like posability and stuff. But it's good to have an actual Megatron, and he's nice and bulky too. That Romulus third-party figure, he's not really big and bulky, whereas this Megatron has the bulkiness, which is a very good thing. Hasbro did a great job with that, and I'm so glad that they actually made him more bulky and big. Because look at the Megatronus, the Fallen or whatever. That figure is really bulky. So I just am glad that they're doing a Megatron justice here, because this Megatron has to have that G1 Megatron feel to compare with Commander Class Optimus Prime. And I mean, that Optimus Prime is still one of the best Optimus Primes ever. It's better than even Masterpiece. So here he is next to the Fallen or Megatronus, and you can clearly see that Megatronus is bigger than him, which I actually like. I want him to be bigger than him, because Megatronus is supposed to be a big badass type of Decepticon, or I shouldn't say Decepticon, but he's supposed to be literally the symbol of Decepticons, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. But yeah, and it's cool that it's really cool that we're getting a great G1 Megatron and the Fallen in basically the same year. This is like a miracle year, I guess, for that. But yeah, because that Fallen figure is my favorite Decepticon. Now, this Megatron might be close in that regard, depending on, because the tank mode's not the greatest, but I think the Fallen tank is better. But I think that this Megatron will be a close second, I guess, just because the robot form looks so G1 that I just love it. But yeah, this looks great together. Having these things on the shelf together is really cool. Now, it's really weird, because I always thought that Galvatron was pretty big, actually. I always felt he's a meaty, big, giant character. And putting him next to Megatron, though, he seems kind of smaller. And it's like, wow, they really did they wanted Megatron to be bigger than Galvatron. I don't know. I figured they'd be the same size, but I don't know. I don't think they were comparing them when they were making them, maybe. But anyway, but it's really interesting to see Galvatron is just a little bit smaller than Megatron. I mean, Megatron's head, I think, is a little bit bigger, higher up than Galvatron. So that's very interesting. But whatever. He can still turn into Galvatron in the future anyway. Either way, he's going to go and get sucked into Unicron and get made into a new figure. But anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much all the images for these things that I have for this. But yeah, it's nice that we're getting a Megatron that looks like this in more G1 style. And this is like the best Megatron I've ever seen Hasbro actually pull off yet, though. So I do give them credit for this, and I'm so glad we're getting this. And I just want to throw my money at this right now, and I hope we can get it before the end of the year. I don't know. It'll probably be like a December thing that we'll be getting. But anyway, tell me what you think about this thing in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.